Hi team, my name is Osmar from TMG Test Equipment, and today's video will focus on the ONX620V settings. So the first setting that you can see here is the date and time. Now if you have it as the setting as a strata sync, it just means that every time that you do a strata sync it will synchronize with the server. If you wanted to do it manually, you just press none, and that will just inherit all the manual settings that you got set up. Second line item is remote operation, which in this case we are using the VNC server to remotely operate our 620V for this presentation. Third line item is Bluetooth. This is what you will need to actually set up your Bluetooth device. Fourth line item here you see is the international settings. Now, when you restore this unit back to factory defaults, it normally goes back to United States settings. So you do want to change that back to Australian settings, so that way all your measurements come up as in meters, not in feet, and you will get your temperature in Celsius instead of Fahrenheit. Your next line item is actually a USB software update. Provided that you have previously downloaded your software into a USB stick, you can insert that USB stick on the side of the ONX620V, and this will come up. That's the image. If you click on that and then click on update, it will ask you if you want to do the update. You press OK, and that just goes through the process. Next setting here you will see is actually a viewing setting, hardware and software revisions. So up in here it tells you which software you're currently running and some more data regarding your the hardware of your unit, including on the bottom here some data about your battery. And if you scroll the way at the top in here, you will see your unit ID. This is your serial number for this specific unit. If you go back to software options, this here gives you a snapshot of all the options that you have enabled and all the options that are upgradable. The next one down is your hardware options. This option will show you what's your unit capable of. Next here is your calibration. So in here is just a timestamp of when it was last calibrated. So in this case, you do get a calibration cycle of 36 months with this unit when you purchase a brand new. Home setting is just if you want to declutter your home screen. So say for example, I was to untick all these and then go back to home, you will see there is nothing there. It's pretty much just the system settings. Now if I go back to home screen and I put them all back, they're all back in there. So if there is any of these that you don't actually need or don't use and you want to declutter your screen, that's a perfect option to use. If we go back to save location, this setting you use when you create a file ID or a work order ID, you want to save it. You can choose to save it on the file system. So essentially your internal memory. You can choose so it saves only on your USB device, provided that it's connected, or you can choose to save it on both at the same time. The next one is your factory default settings. Now, this one actually reinstall your software, but rather it just clears all the system settings. If you were to do that, it's also asking if you want to remove all your files and file browser, or if you want to clear your international settings. Then you press OK, and then you have to reboot the unit for those settings to take place. The next option is just asking you if you want to reboot or you want to power it off the unit. Next option is your template management. Now, at the moment, we don't have any templates saved up because all the templates are loaded on your ONX620V via StrataSync. So this option here, this feature is not being used by NBN at the moment. Screen and power management, this just changes the brightness of your unit. Sounds, pretty much when you turn it on and off, it just plays a chime or a sound. I'm sure they will be able to add more features in the future, but for the time being, this is all you can sort of do. And the next one is just user information. So in this case, if the unit belongs to you and you want to put your details in here, you can. If you don't, then we just inherit the details that are already saved up on the StrataSync server. But you can easily edit those and send those back to the StrataSync server. This I wouldn't recommend you change because that's the NBN StrataSync ID. So that's got to stay the same. And lastly, if you click on help, it pretty much just takes you to VIV support page. Thanks for having me. And I will be coming up with some more instructional videos in the future. Thanks.